Welcome to On the Way Classroom with Tony Crisp. Each weekday, Monday through Friday, Dr. Crisp will teach the Bible from its historical, geographical, linguistic, and cultural context. Tune in daily to start your day right and to deepen your understanding of how to better walk the way and enjoy the journey. Now, here's your host, Dr. Tony Crisp.
Welcome to On the Way Classroom. I'm Tony Crisp, and today I have some great news for you. For some of you, it will be the greatest news you've heard about my ministry. For others of you, there's going to be disappointment, because this will be the last On the Way Classroom, and there are reasons behind that. As you know, in January, I began a journey with you to test what people had been saying to me over and over again was the way to go. Ministry experts told me that I needed to do video because that is the medium of the next generation. And so, as I have done often in the past with great success, I listened to those who knew better than I did. Well, the reality is that's just not true. And since January, I have been doing studies on broadcast, on mediums that people listen to, on different platforms where people are reached. And it's been an amazing journey for me. And I want to share with you today some of the statistics that will help you to understand why I have made the decision to go back to On the Way audio. That is, we are going back to the original format, and it will be 5 days a week, just like it always was, and I'm going to be talking about people, places, prophecies that are related to the land of Israel and to biblical reality. And so I want you to go on that journey with me once again. Now, it's going to be different in some ways because of the journey that I'm on in my personal life. I have just signed with one of my ministry partners with one of the largest Christian publishers in the world to do a major work that I will be talking about in the months ahead, but not now. And the reason is because these are private and personal matters, but in time you will understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. I will not be able to have the time also to put into video, coming into a studio, doing what I'm doing, but I can, anywhere I am in all the earth, I can, through the device of an iPhone, I can record On the Way anywhere on earth. I can send that to my producer, Zach Cochran, digitally from anywhere on earth, and he can receive it from anywhere on earth that you have satellite and internet. All to say, it is going to make us more nimble and be able to do more wherever we are. And also because it is what people are listening to. And in other research that I have done, I have found out that listening to something, hearing something, is a special way that God has used down through the ages to communicate truth, His truth. And that's what I want to do. I've given my life to preaching the gospel of Jesus. I've given my life to training and teaching the next generation and men and women of God that are living in my time, my generation. And I want to do everything I can to communicate something that can be listened to in the ages to come. My heart is to be what God wants me to be and finish well. And I believe I can best do that through the On the Way podcast that we're going to continue. Now, we're going to try to do what we have done with the video classroom and keep those to 15 minutes because that has been a good format. But I want to share with you just statistically as I began to study the statistics as to why logically I'm doing this and analytically I'm doing this. And then I want to talk to you about the spiritual reasons. I have researched my own podcast, and I have some statistics that I want to read to you. On the Way, I'm not talking about 365 Bible reading plan, which is an on-the-way product. That is totally separate. It comes in the same email every day, but they are two separate recordings. But just On the Way with Dr. Tony Crisp is heard now in 144 countries. It is now listened to in 3,272 cities worldwide. It is listened to on 52 different apps, that is, various platforms. Some you would recognize and be very familiar with, but others in various parts of the world, the major platform that I use to get this out around the world doesn't even know what to call them. So people are listening on apps and devices and platforms that we don't even understand what they are and cannot name them. But we have named 17 different devices that people listen to. And the number one is what I'm holding in my hand, a phone. And it is an amazing statistic. What would you say, if you were just guessing, would be the number one device as far as a percentage? It's the phone. We are a mobile society. We live just with this. I was astonished. Most people will say somewhere between 50 and 75%. The reality for On the Way podcast is 85% of the people that listen to On the Way, they listen on a phone. The majority were iPhones, but some Android devices. But the reality is we are living in a very mobile and active society. I cannot tell you the dozens of people that have said to me, I listen to you every day as I'm going to work. I listen to you every day as I'm coming home. I listen to you while I'm getting ready of a morning. Many times when I'm sitting in my chair and as I am doing my reading and I'm talking with God, many times your voice is the first that I hear. And they do that on this device. And so we're going back to what works. You see, I believe that whatever God is doing, He's going to bless. And whatever we're doing in partnership with God, He's going to bless. Now, we have almost 150 video classrooms. Those will be forever available to you as long as we are able to do that. They will be archived. You can listen to them on my website. You'll be able to listen to them on other websites. But we're going back to the audio On the Way with Dr. Tony Crisp. Now, on the weekends, you can continue with the 365 that you do 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But Monday through Friday, you can listen to the On the Way podcast on the same devices you always have. Now, let me just tell you, over the next year, I'm going to be in the most intensive study I've ever done in my life, including a terminal PhD. But I am committed to On the Way podcast because now thousands have contacted me, either verbally, they've talked to me, they've called me, they've written me, they've texted me to say what a blessing it's been to their lives. I'm overwhelmed, I'm humbled, I'm honored, all of those things that come with recognizing that we are just a vessel, a broken vessel. And that's what I am. I've been broken by sin. I've been broken by my own selfishness. I've been broken by the decisions of others over which I had no control whatsoever. But I can tell you this, it doesn't matter who you are. God can take you and use you the moment you set your heart to follow Him. He can use you, and that's what I want to share with you are the very words of God. We're going to be taking off on a new direction on the On the Way podcast starting tomorrow. And up to this time, I have recorded 1,248. We're going to start with podcast 1,249, and we are going to continue on. If you will go with me over this next year and listen all that you can, I promise you God is going to meet you on the way. He's already done a fresh work in my heart that I cannot even describe to you, and I cannot wait to share with you the scriptures God has used in my life and the method of getting my attention that God has used in my life. And it's not one method, it's many. Because you see, God will meet us wherever we are, and He will take us to wherever He wants us to go. And if we cooperate with Him, the joy in the journey is beyond compare. And I want to ask you to join me. Start tomorrow and go to your normal way of listening to On the Way, and I pray that God will bless you in the days ahead. All I ask is that you follow, that you listen. And if you would like to receive this every morning in an email where all you have to do is just hit the button and listen to it, then go to TonyCrisp.org. TonyCrisp.org. TonyCrisp as in Paul.org. And as soon as you go to that site, you're going to see a blue bar that says Stay Connected. Just underneath that, you will be able to click and sign up. We must have your information. And that's not to bug you and bother you, but we need to know who is listening. We need to know where you're listening from so that we can better know how to program for you. And as resources come in, we're able then to put it out in the area where you are in a greater way. All I'm asking for is your prayers. Really, I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for any kind of support except for you to pray for me and pray that God would take the words that I speak and in sharing His word, that He would reach people. People have been saved listening to the On the Way podcast. Thousands have recommitted their life to Bible study through On the Way podcast. Tens of thousands have renewed their walk with God day by day as they have listened to On the Way podcast. And so I close the video classroom with this plea. Pray for me. Pray for God's strength, God's grace, God's mercy in my life. And as I start on this new writing journey over the next year, when I have to have day after day, when I set aside time to write, I'm also going to be sharing with you out of the overflow what God is doing in my life. And I pray that He'll work in yours. And so from me to you, God bless you. God bless your family. And wherever on earth you are watching this or listening to this, I pray that you will sign up or that you will listen on your platform, whatever it is, on your phone, your computer, on whatever device you're listening to, and that you'll share with others On the Way with Dr. Tony Crisp. God bless you.
Thanks for listening to On the Way Classroom with Dr. Tony Crisp. Tune in each weekday for more information on how to read, study, and understand the Bible. If you have questions, please write to questions@tonycrisp.org. That's questions@tonycrisp.org. Questions@tonycrisp.org. Thanks for listening and have a blessed day on the way.